Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Last time, there was a little bit of an unfortunate death. It was bad. So I'm a little shy of actually trying to land on the moon again. I actually tried to land on the moon again, had the same problem. We're not going to be sending Kerbals out again shortly, but I'm here in my flight tracker thing, and guess what happened? We remember this probe that we sent out a long time ago. Let's look at that. The one that we sent out, and it ran out of fuel, and it was doing a weird orbit around the moon, around Kerbal, but it kind of came near the moon. Well, and it's still it's still sending stuff as it gains power. But fun fact, it actually eventually, without any effort on my part, swung itself around the moon and broke orbit out of Kerbal, which is kind of crazy. Let's go back and look at that again. Come on, don't be slow. All right, yeah, so flight tracker thingy, and yeah, look at that. So it now has its own orbit. here's Kerbal or Kerbin. It's Kerbin. Yep, and then. Monet has its own now orbit around the sun. The upside of that is that we got a ton of science because we then were able to report stuff from orbiting the sun rather than orbiting Kerbin, which is pretty awesome. So let me zoom out here. We have so much science. We got to buy a ton of stuff, including better solar panels, better rockets, we got about 1,000 science out of it. So it just went through and it was like, click, record more stuff, transmit it, record more stuff, transmit it. So that is awesome. I am now addicted to getting science. We are so close to having a nuclear rocket, which is not very powerful, but it is super, super, super efficient in a vacuum. So I'm excited to get that, but we need 300 science for that. So we are going to do something new. Well, not new. We're not going to send a Kerbal into space. or even to the moon, because we learned our lesson there. But I have designed a new probe. Where is it? Rosie, Mark 1. Yes. Rosie is a brand new probe. This is. I also learned out how to zoom in and out. It's a brand new probe, and I put struts on it and everything. And it's got these super large tanks. But look at that. I've decided I'm going to name all of the probes after robots. That one is courtesy of the Jetsons. So there you go. And actually, before we do this, let me I want to move these because I don't like they weren't showing up. They weren't showing much. So let's do that. And then yeah. So now this is kind of the main portion of the thing. These are rechargeable batteries, and we have now extendable solar panels here and here, and yeah. Actually, can I rotate these at all? Let's see. Zoom in a little bit. Can I angle them a little? No, I'd like to angle them so they aim a little bit at the ship, but I can't seem to do that. Oh well. Okay. Well, that's at least something. Well, maybe if we. No, see, it's not going to get an angle that actually lights up the ship. It's unfortunate. But we're using this crazy asparagus staging stuff down here because I've tried doing asparagus staging with the larger rockets, and it does not produce enough power to actually get us up. So there's a little adapter here that shrinks it down from the large rocket to the small. And I'm sure this is an incredibly wasteful design, but it does work. So we are headed out, and we are going to go and put this on a different planet. We also have a thermometer, which is kind of cool. So I've added action groups for the observing all the science, including logging the temperature, which I'm going to try and do while we orbit, because you actually can't take temperature in space. But enough jibber jabber, and let me turn on my timer so I know I don't waste tons and tons of your time. What's going on? Okay, stopwatch is going. And enough of this jibber jabber, let us go and launch this. So I have tested this. I was able to get it into orbit, and I started practicing a little bit with trying to get to different planets. And yeah, we're going to do this. Now, there's an appropriate way to transfer where you wait for the stuff to be in the right. Let me zoom out. Okay, so there's our whole thing. Oh, and that light looks actually pretty nice that way. I like that. Let's turn that on. And actually, let's do some... Yeah, so we're getting very little science at this point here, but let's go ahead and let that do that, because these will actually power, provide power so long as they're attached. So do your transmitting, and then let's go. We want to go. We're going to go to a new planet. It's going to be awesome. Okay, that's it. Ready, set, go. Have to turn on stabilization. So I've also added these strut things. They seem to help with a lot of the rotational issues that I was having before, which is good. And they also will automatically detach when appropriate. So if they're attached to something that's collapsing, they'll leave. So we're getting still a tiny little bit of rotation, but nowhere near the amounts that we were dealing with earlier. And I'm surprised these struts seem to help quite a bit, because I was really nervous about having these larger rockets up here, kind of on sitting on top of all these smaller things. I was afraid it's going to be way, way, way too top heavy. But it seems not to be much of an issue so far, which is great. And it is angling a tiny little bit, so I'm trying to control that. And yeah. But yeah, if you remember last time, was it last time? Maybe 2 episodes ago, this thing was rotating like crazy. You know, no matter how much I tried to correct it, it really didn't seem to do much. But yeah, it's also when we're launching stuff that's this heavy, it's really hard to get the speed that we really want. But you know, this one works, and I'm sure I could do something that's more efficient. But I don't know. And yeah, we're still dealing with the old probe, which is I'm not paying it. I gotta stop talking so I can pay attention to all these fuels, because as soon as one of these runs out, you know, if we lose 2 engines and we're just carrying these empty fuel tanks, it's a lot of wasted energy that we shouldn't be spending. I'm gonna start angling us over toward that 90-degree mark. Yeah, we are still rotating a little bit, which I don't know. If you guys have suggestions as to how to fix that, I'm happy to take your suggestions. Granted, I am recording these. I tend to record these a bunch at a time, so I apologize if I don't directly respond to your feedback immediately, but I am doing my best. All right, and we're actually, see, we're doing pretty darn good as far as efficiency goes. Let's zoom in, and our apoapsis is looking like that. That's great. Apoapsis is pretty high. We should probably be tilting further over now. Okay. Turn off the stabilization. Get us going. Let's phase away. And at some point, because these are still pretty tightly packed together, I should probably look at adding like little booster things to push these away from the main rocket when they detach, so that we don't run into the risk of them striking our remaining capsule, because that would be bad. And as soon as we get up into full space, I'm going to probably kill the thrust for the most part, and then wait until we get to our apoapsis to do our set of maneuver at our apoapsis, rather. We're tilting a little more than I want. Not quite that much, please. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so we got plenty of space, which is good. And this is okay. This is still rising, and I love it. I'm actually using words like apoapsis as though I know what I'm talking about, which is kind of crazy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kill our thrusters at the moment, and maybe I shouldn't have done that, because this is going to be coming up pretty quick. Let's do that. Let's zoom out and take a look. Okay, good. And yeah, I want that, please. Let's turn this back on. Okay, so it's estimating a burn. Okay, so we pretty much got to start burning right away. Gonna do this. Ooh. Don't want to lose all the altitude, so I'm gonna not hit quite the target. I'm gonna be a little bit above the target. And see, this looks like something that really shouldn't be okay, as far as just having these smaller rockets propelling this massive tank of a thing. But I don't know what to tell you. It's been working. Other thing, actually, because basically as soon as we stop firing the rockets, the probe does require power, and so if we leave things just sitting around, we do run the risk of the electricity running out. And yeah, a bunch of electric sources, a lot of battery packs, but we do run the risk of running out of electricity if we're not careful. So we want to make sure that basically as soon as we lose these main rockets, we're going to deploy our new fancy solar panels, and that's going to be awesome. Let's take a look here. All right, so our apoapsis is still moving out from. So it's still moving away from us, which is good, and it's not quite as high as I'd like. Okay, 75 is fine. This means we can move to more of a horizontal thing, and we can jettison these, and they will certainly fall back to Kerbin because we're not quite in a circular orbit yet. So those will land somewhere around here. And look at that. So our orbit would decay if we stopped right now, but at the very least, it is an orbit. And let's see here. Okay. Ah, I love the nice quiet sound. Okay, just the calm music. All right, and that's gonna go. Okay, so that's there. We're gonna kill the thrusters entirely, and we'll expand this. I don't even know if we'll expand that. Let's get rid of this maneuver. We'll expand this side when we get over here. But before that, let's well, actually, let's do a quick test of temperature and all that stuff. Transmit. Yeah, and see, we're not getting much because a lot of this stuff is really old news at this point, but it is something. But you'll notice we are losing electricity pretty darn quickly, so I am at this point going to deploy our solar panels. And if you check, they're unfolding, and these will actually rotate to track the sunlight, which is awesome. So, and we're still draining plenty of electricity, but if we just chill for a little bit, because the sun is over there. Where is it? Sun? There's the sun. Hi, sun. So we've got plenty of time to recharge here. So that's happening fairly quickly. And we've got a whole array of battery packs around the edge. Where are the battery packs, actually? I put battery. Oh, right. Because these are the new battery pack things. They store a lot more. They store like 200 electricity each. And then this thing, I think, stores 10. So that's where all that is. And these will... Now, granted, not all of these seem to be in the sun. Well, yeah, see? We're getting plenty of solar energy. And there is the moon for the poor place for our wonderful Kerbal hero. But at this point, I say we should go. I would like to break our orbit, please. And I'm going to set a maneuver node. Let's see, because we are traveling clockwise, right? Yes, we are. I'm going to set a maneuver node that goes a little bit insane. Basically, if we expand this far enough, eventually we will leave what is known as the sphere of influence. See, look at that. Now we escape Kerbin. We're no longer rotating around Kerbin at all. And I have decided that that is a good idea. Now, if I were being smart, of course, it thinks we need far more to burn, so that maneuver is not going to be accurate. But we are going to leave Kerbin in some way, shape, or form. If this rotation would just... come on. Yep, thank you. Now, this is a little easier to control as soon as I get rid of this, but I don't want to waste... I don't want to just jettison it and lose all that fuel, so we're going to burn like crazy for a little while. So I've got this up to full, and this, we're already past the maneuver node, so that's not going to be particularly helpful. But so let's go ahead and delete that. Oh, no. I got to figure out a way to get rid of that dock. All right, let's see if I can control this. And yep, so we're still throttled all the way up, and as you see, this is expanding pretty rapidly. I got to turn on. It's so hard to control with this rocket. It's also not giving me the sound, so I'm not necessarily going to know when it runs out of fuel, which is frustrating. But I am having to kind of constantly correct this. But and because we're using this rocket, which is really more designed to get us into space, it's not the best for doing this. But as soon as we run out of it, things should go a little bit faster. So I wonder, can I can't time warp while I'm throttling up, unfortunately, guys. So you're just stuck listening to my voice and watching us. Olivia Moon. I feel bad because I went back and I tried with a new lander, and it's so hard for me to stop the horizontal movement, and then I had the same problem of just trying to slow down but overcorrecting, because I'd turn up the throttle just a tiny little bit and it would go from, you're descending at 12 meters per second and then it'd be like 15 meters per second, and I'm like, what? And it's like, no, I just skipped all the way from dropping at 12 to going up at 12, which is frustrating. I wish it was a bit clearer about that. Okay, so we are out of this fuel. I'm gonna, let's see, go here, we'll separate and throttle up. So now this should be, yeah, see, look, we're moving much faster now. And part of that is just because we're already a little bit further out. But this rocket is much, much, much cooler. Ooh, come on, stay on target, please. Oh, I didn't have stabilization on. See, now the stabilization is working much, 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 much better, which is good. So take a look at that. We're expanding out. Ooh, there's Minmus. That's another moon, by the way. I don't think we're going to go there. Yeah, maybe we should go there. Should we go there? Yeah, let's try to go there. Let's see. Well, no, we're not going to try and go there. All right. So, yeah, we're now at a point where, given enough time, we will escape orbit. So I'm just going to go ahead and advance until we do that. And because I have a plan. We're going to go to a different planet. I said we were going to a different planet. We're not going to the freaking other moon. Screw you, other moon. So yeah, as soon as we get here, we take a look and... Alright. Come on. Come on. See, we're merrily on our way to nowhere. Now, you may think at this point that we're just like flying off into space and we're not on anybody's orbit. That's not true. We're just scrolled in way too far. So you see here, this is, there's Kerbal, there's the moon, there's the other moon, and if we scroll out a lot, there we go. That's a whole, now we're in our own orbit around the sun, which is pretty cool, and we are going to go to Eve, and I have to figure out a maneuver that's going to work for this. So let me try. I'm just going to add a maneuver and try and shrink down our apoapsis. So there's a little bit of overlap there. And let's see what it gives us. Let's see. That's not what I want. Come on, give me something. There we go. Okay. So there's the closest approach, and that's way too far for me. Let's see if we move this around a little bit. No. I wonder. Let's see, can I adjust this a little bit? Let's tweak this. What does that do? No. And the difficult part is finding a time where we're both going to be at the same place at the same time. Let's see. That's... Nope. Keep it shrunk, please. Alright, well, you know what? We're going to do that, and then we'll do another correction over here. So let's do that correction in 90 days. That's the other thing, is once you start doing interplanetary stuff, the time scale jumps up quite a bit. So I'm going to time warp like crazy. I'm just going to wait 3 months real quick. Oh man, this is as fast as it goes. So we just gotta wait for that countdown. So you got a little less than a minute. Yeah. So if any of you guys know how to figure out that whole lunar lander thing, I'm not good at it, and maybe it's just a matter of I need to practice. But it's kind of a pain because you've got to get all the way out there, and then you kind of get one attempt. So it's kind of challenging to really get yourself to that point. All right, where are we now? We're there. Okay, and I just arbitrarily put that maneuver node. There's no reason we can't do one now-ish. Oh, yeah, I keep on confusing kill thrusters with, let's slow down time to normal now. Okay, so let's delete that. Let's make a maneuver where I am. And who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. And that's, yeah, that looks like it's where I am, but it's actually 8 hours away. Okay, so let's shrink this down and see what it is we see. Okay, so that's not great. That's getting further away. Okay, let's bring that back. Let's adjust this a little bit. No. No. Let's see. Yeah, okay. We'll get to there, then we'll adjust when we get to here, and then we'll figure it out. Now, you could do this very efficiently and wait till the appropriate time before you do any fuel burning and stuff. But, you know, ain't nobody got time for that, as they say. Oh, let's do some science while we're here. See, it can't do a temperature scan, but it can do some material study. Though a lot of that we've already gotten credit for. Now, despite the fact that this maneuver is actually here, I'm just going to do it now because we're close enough, and it's going to at least bring this edge of the orbit down a little bit, which is good. So let's see. So it estimates we need a whole 2 minutes or so before this is going to come in. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can better see what it is that's going on. And I don't know how the sound is for you guys, but unfortunately the rocket thrust kind of cuts in and out. It gets a little bit choppy for me. So I apologize if that's the case for you as well. Actually, I shouldn't be hitting the target. I should be burning periapsis for the best fuel-efficient way of just kind of collapsing our orbit. And I do have to be a little careful because fuel is going to be a little tight here. So if I can't get a nice intercept, it's going to be a little tricky. Let's get rid of this. Goodbye. Yeah. Do. Okay, so we are getting closer now, which is good. And we're still, part of the problem is that the orbits are not entirely aligned, which is frustrating. But if we can get them close enough, then the gravity from Eve, which is the planet we're headed to, should help a little bit. So let's take a look at that. All right, we'll go ahead and stop there, and then we'll advance time. And this is as fast as it goes, folks, which is frustrating. But, well, what are you going to do? Actually, let's see if we can actually get a maneuver somewhere around here that might be a little more helpful, since we're at least closer to the correct orbit. Shrink that down. We're still way off time-wise. Ooh, what just happened there? No. If we shrink the orbit, they seem to at least be moving closer. Oh, look at that. Look at that. They're close, aren't they? Like 1 million kilometers away from one another. That's something. Except if we do that, we're going to run into the sun. So never mind on that. All right, let's try it. Let's just add another one. See if we can get something. Make this a little closer. We'll put it over here. Shrink this down. All right, is it giving us... All right, so we're not actually close enough at any point yet. There we go. Okay. So if we do about here, and if we shrink that down... No. See, it is nice that you can at least move these maneuvers around until you can get something that might work for you. But I'm not getting what I want. So I tell you what, we are a little over 20 minutes, so I am going to figure out a node, and then we will be back next video with actually going to the freaking planet. But you know what? We didn't kill anybody this time. So stay tuned for not killing anybody next time, and I will see you then. Bye.